Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's your girl, Adina. So happy to be here with the 10th edition of the Liberated Pussy Podcast. Yes. As you know, this is an offering that we bring weekly. Myself and my sister Monique. Oh, we have a special guest today and she has joined. Hello, Niki. I'm going to send you a request. We have Niki and Monique joining us today. Niki is an amazing sound therapist. So I am going to send her a request or ask to join. There. Technology. Stop. Thank you. We have Niki, who's an amazing sound healer, joining us today, along with, of course, the Moon Mama and myself, your girl Adina. Okay, I see Moon Mama here. Yes. Yes. And then Niki, I've sent you a request. If you can press that, that should let you in as well. Alrighty. So shaking my rattle as they are coming in, bringing that magic. Hello, goddess.
Hello,
Yes.
Adina. Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are
I
you?
am fantastic.
You
I'm so happy.
look amazing. I
Thank
love
you.
the afro. I
Thank
love it.
you. Thank
hmm
you. Oh, thank
Nikki
you.
is on the live, but oh, there she
There
is.
she is.
Hi.
Yay!
Hi.
Yay!
Welcome, goddess.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Yes.
me.
So happy to have you. It is our greatest
Happy to
joy for
be
sure.
here.
hmm
Yay!
Our
So
greatest joy.
excited.
So let's take a moment to introduce ourselves and then let's jump right in because we have a fantastic 10th edition of the Liberated Pussy Podcast, season 2. Yes.
Yay!
Yes, 10. I am your girl, Adina. I am the goddess of magical movement. I have the awesome pleasure of hosting this weekly podcast with amazing melanated goddesses every week. Okay? You'll get me and Monique for sure, but every now and again, you get a special treat like Niki today, who comes and shares their wisdom, their love, and their joy. But who I am. Okay, back to me.
Yeah.
I'm the co-founder of Belly Dancers of Color Collective. I am the founder of Goddess Technology, a wonderful, amazing rites of passage that I curate and work with Monique here at Follow the Sun. So this is an opportunity to do this work, hands in the clay, as you mold yourself and prepare your path home. All paths lead home. You guys want to take the one that's rough, that's been laid out for you, or you want to make it smooth and learn your tips and tricks and magic. We about the magic, y'all. So that's me, Goddess of Magical Movement. I'm available for coaching, and of course, we want you in this sacred sister circle with us. Take it away, Moon Mama.
Hey, thank you, Adina. That's amazing.
Yes.
So I am the Moon Mama. Also, my birth name is Monique. My goddess name is Moon Mama. Also Amina. And I create spaces for women to unravel, to come into themselves. I create spaces for women to feel safe enough to go within themselves and bring forth the medicine and the power and the magic that not only they benefit from, but those around them and the world will benefit from. I create sacred space, and I love that. I also do Goddess Technology with Adina, and I am also the co-founder of Follow the Sun, where we initiate women and men too who are in understanding their feminine power. And I'm so grateful to be here today with our beloved Niki. Niki, tell us who you are.
Niki, take it
Wow. Okay. I am Nikki, and I am the founder of Illuminiki. I am a healer. I've been at this work since 2006,
away.
and I specialize in sound therapy. My work is profoundly transformative, right?
Ashe.
Giving one the opportunity to one reconnect, like really get yourselves back online, and reconfigure your energetic signature. In fact, attune you to your original energetic signature, which allows for you to resonate at a frequency where all things are available to you. Now, all things are always available to you, right? But there is a level of consciousness that um, is inherent within this work. So that's me, Nikki.
Hey,
That's
Hey,
that's
Nikki.
dope.
that's a wait, because
That's
you also
dope.
have goddess names, so that's my galactical name,
Yeah.
Illuminate.
Okay. That's dope, Nikki.
We're
She told you right off the bat, I'm profoundly transformational. If y'all want to get in here and stop fucking around, get with this profound transformation. It's called sound. Hello.
and let me tell you, and she ain't lied. She ain't
She
lied.
she
She
ain't
ain't told
lying.
one lie. I detect
Yeah.
no lies.
Once you become a goddess, you just telling people who you are. This is what I do, love.
Yeah,
This is
This is
what
that's
who
I
I
right.
do. And if it's for you, come on.
Yeah, this is who I
That's right.
am. This is who I've
Yeah.
always been. I mean, for as
Yeah.
long as I
Ashe.
can
Yeah.
remember, I've been this since I was 4 years old and walking around with this level of consciousness and not really having any peers or anyone to really talk to. So during this epoch of time, I get to be here with
Ashe.
the two of you. I get to,
Yes.
I get to um, have my gifts appreciated, right, as opposed to
Mhm.
being the weird girl.
Yes.
Right.
Well, you're on the line with all the weird girls. So right here, weird is normal.
Talking about
If you're
frequency.
not weird, we don't know what to say to you.
Right. We don't
Right.
have anything to
We
say.
only
Weird is
speak
regular.
weirdos. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right. What's she talking about? Light and frequency. What is she
Yes.
Yes.
talking about? You
That's
know.
what she
Yes.
talking about. She talking about real transformation, like she
Yes.
said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we always start, Nikki, with Monique framing our conversation with astrology because we have the moon mama. Duh. Of course we want to do
Right.
that. And then we just take our path down our wonderful road of conversation and connectivity. And that's what we're going to do today. So moon mama,
All
give us
right,
the
y'all.
deal.
Right on.
So I am profoundly excited because we're still in the window of this Mercury retrograde in Aries. So we had an eclipse in Libra, a lunar eclipse, and then we had a full moon, a solar eclipse, a full solar eclipse in Aries. While the whole while Mercury was retrograde. Mercury is our mind and how we think and how we process information. Aries is the beginning. So for us to have an eclipse in this beginning again time, where a new era, where we're moving out of the era of Pisces into Aquarius, this is a real reboot for all of us. And we all feel it. Those of us who have been in this work, we feel it. We know, like,
We
oh,
too.
something new is a fit. You can feel it, right? So we're about to have a full moon in Aquarius in about a week, like 6 days. And not in Aquarius, I'm sorry, in Scorpio. In Scorpio. And Scorpio has been having all of the eclipses for the past 18 months or 2 years before this season started with Libra and Aries. So Scorpio and Taurus have been completely cleaned out. So Scorpio is about your power, your gifts, your magic, what you inherited from your family, the power that you inherited from the bloodline that you come through, right? This is not just about your, the ego relationship that you have with your parents. This is about your DNA. This is about your galactic codes. This is about what you were really born for. And now it's coming online. It's like it's here. It's like, are you ready though? Do you have you created the container to hold the new light? Have you done the work to make yourself a receptor of this new energy and new power? I hope y'all have, because it's happening. So that's all I got to say about the astrology. And I
Okay.
am so excited that we are here now having this
Yes.
conversation.
Everything is new. We talked about that last week too. We feel it. We feel it. And maybe you're feeling a little strange or feeling a little off or feeling a little different. That's the newness. It can be translated in lots of different ways, but as we become more aware to the subtle cues, you'll understand that's what's happening here. We have an incredible opportunity. So
Mhm.
Nikki, Monique and I chatted and we wanted to talk to you about the language of the body. And you just mentioned frequency and things like that. It all connects, everything we're talking about, the stars, the movement, the sound. So tell us, before we jump into it, that's the overall, but tell us how you got into sound therapy and sound healing. Like what led you on your path? Because I know it's interesting. I can just feel
Aw,
it. It's
aw.
interesting. Tell us how you got into that. Were you banging on the pots as a 3-year-old in your mama's kitchen and, hey, that sound
Well,
good?
first
Mama got
of all,
cooler
my
with,
mother is not the chef, so
okay,
my mother, she didn't cook. It was my father who
okay,
cooked. So if I was banging on anybody's pots, it would have been his pots,
okay.
but no, no. Uh, as I made mention of initially, like I've always been this person, right? And the way that I feel, the way that I speak, my presence, but just like in a miniature package. So they didn't necessarily know what to do with me, right? So I would come out with all of these things, and they were like, "Who is this child? Like, who is this girl?" First off, I didn't talk until I was almost 2 years old. But when I started to speak, I was speaking in full sense. So my family would actually give me like little taps of alcohol to get me to open up, to soften a bit. And then they would pose questions to me. And obviously, those answers were coming through me, right? Because how could a small person or a child of a particular number, having not lived, but only that, frame of reference, have access to such information? And as it relates to sound and frequency, that's how I see, right? That's how I actually, I clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant. So when I look, there is a pattern. Sometimes that pattern offers an image. When I'm feeling into an experience, something comes up within me. And what comes up, because light is information, it comes up within me as a resonance, as a frequency, as a light sometimes. Now, what is not most popularly known is that, one, as I just mentioned, that light is information, but there are several codes of light that are hitting our planet. So we have the red ray, the green ray, the blue ray, the purple rays, right? Not just the sunlight and what we perceive as being a yellow or a gold ray, or even sometimes a white light. So with that I said, I was born this, right? Like this isn't something that I had to learn. It's not something that, and coupled with the fact that when you are clairsentient, there are many things that I just couldn't explain, right? They'd be like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I can explain it to you." And my son is in the 12th house. So that then caused me to be a bit reticent when it came to really sharing information or sharing things that I couldn't really explain. Now, I've worked with some of the best. I'm certified under some of the best. I worked with Queen Afua way back in the day when she had Heal Thyself in Brooklyn. She actually asked me to come and work with her, and she herself has said to many that she recognized me as being a mystic. I'm certified under Dr. Laila Africa as a healer. So I've learned many, many modalities to only then find myself right back where I started, right? And always talking about light, always being able to see and hear particles of light, right? Like I literally could look and see dancing blue, red, green, purple, etc. all the time. And then later I learned, oh, those are energetic fields, right? Like as the path continued to carry me, I would walk right into the information or be able to give it verbiage, to be able to give it, to be able to articulate what I was seeing and what I was experiencing.
Wow.
Yeah, that.
That's totally beautiful to see dancing purple and green and all of that. That's amazing.
And can
As
you
a kid,
hear it? It sounds like really high pitched chimes,
hmm
right? Like literally, I called it listening to the silence, and I would ask, "Can you hear the silence?" Like, we ask people,
yes,
"Hear the silence?" They'd be like, "What?"
that was my question. Did you realize other people weren't hearing what you were hearing? Did you realize that you were having an experience that everyone wasn't having? Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Wow.
my family also recognized that as well, right? And I would test the theory. I would ask, like, "Can you hear the silence?" And people would be like, "What are you talking about?" Or there would be only one to two people that I could really talk about my secrets like who I am, where I come from, the things that I'm hearing, the things that I'm seeing, how I'm like able to do some of these things I actually felt about it, right? I'm born in the 70s. And so, there was a level of expansion, right? So I came in on a particular ray, and that particular ray was a ray of expansion. So, yes,
Mhm.
in certain circles, certain people were talking about certain things, but when you're a child and you're talking about things like this, it can be a bit off-putting, no matter
Mhm.
who you're talking
Mhm.
to. It's like, what? Right?
Yes.
And I could see, so I'm talking to what I am seeing, and those things were also disturbing, right? So your thing for me comes up on an electromagnetic field, so I'm just looking, right? And it's dictating to me. So then I come back and I say, well, this, that, and the third.
Mhm.
Right? Just like that, right? And that is how I operate still to this day.
Yes. That is so powerful. Thank you so much for that incredible, intimate explanation of your internal experience.
Thank you.
Because I, one of the things that I value about my connection with you. So, Nikki came into my life when I literally, one day, I said out loud to Spirit, I need to be able to have this conversation that I am having with you inside of myself, Spirit. I need to have this conversation with someone in real time. That's what I said. I said, I need to have this conversation in real time. And in a few days, or maybe a week or so, I met Nikki. And I was like, God, that was fast. Like, what?
When the
like,
student is ready, the teacher will
Right. Like,
appear.
yes.
she is ready.
Right, and it was immediate, and immediately like her conversation was, "This is your reality. You're generating in this way." Like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm having the conversation outside of myself with someone is more practiced in it, who has a greater comprehension of the dialogue, and can really is further along, but can walk me from where I am into a new way of being." And ta-da, Nikki appeared. Like, and so the value of this conversation that we're having here is that many people are new to this work, Nikki. And the benefit of my connection with you is that you've been in this all your life. And and like I have been aware of it all my life, but there was no safe space for me to really be with it, because I was in a Christian environment, because there was so much shame around my gifts, so I put them away. So the value of having someone like you is the affirmation, is the sense of safety, is the sense of safety, the affirmation, and what's possible, right? So my question is, how do you feel now that the world is starting to shift into a deeper confirmation of who you are? How do you feel? Like, so, do you hear what I'm trying to ask you?
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
super clear about what you're asking me. Well, I'll start. I'll speak in a range, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I have incarnated in this particular epoch of time, I'm coming with information that the world still doesn't have.
Mhm.
So I'm still limited in my ability to be able to fully converse.
Mhm.
Because I have created a container and can invite others into the container, and contingent upon what it is that you are talking about to me,
Mhm.
then determines what I can actually share with you. Much like you just made mention of when you stated, I can meet you where you are and then walk you, right?
Mhm.
But I can only walk you in as much as you can hold.
Mhm.
So the work, what it does is it clears debris, it clears emotion, because it is the emotion that has hardened within we'll just talk about the seven bodies of light. There are a multitude of bodies of light, but those particular bodies of light, they also connect you interdimensionally. That's
Mm.
another part that isn't really spoken of nor
Right.
explored, because they just don't have the information. So I can only talk, I can only like touch it,
Yes.
right? Because otherwise, you know, how do I look talking about to make myself seem important or
Mm-hmm.
self-aggrandizement? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really have the mental space or emotional space for that. But getting back to it, there's also a substantial amount of cosplay that's taking place right now as well, whereas people are dressing up their perception of what it is to be spiritual.
Mm.
And generally, when I interface with that type of energy, it it falls short, right?
Yes.
So, and I'm keenly aware of it, and it is not my intention to lessen anything, right? Because it too has a place. It too is ripening the people. It's exposing them to, a modicum of information. And should they choose to go deeper, somehow they end up finding me, right? And not
Yes.
because I'm blasting myself all over the place. I often say I'm the best kept secret that only a few people know about, right? Because a great deal of my work is word of
Mm-hmm.
mouth. A great deal of my work is word of mouth. And the container is so strong that it doesn't allow for any BS to come through
That's
either,
so
right?
true.
Like if you are really ready, then we gonna get to it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I made mention of initially putting you back online, like literally connecting you with the sun
Yes.
and reconnecting you with the earth so
Mm-hmm.
that you can draw the frequencies up, clearing the container to such a degree that you can actually hold more light, thus beginning to cultivate your relationship with unseen forces. Sometimes it's your ancestors, sometimes it's your spirit guide. A great deal of time, it's a ray of light. These rays, they're varying frequencies that carry different types of information, right?
Yes.
And you can pose the question and literally hear it, right? So then you take out the middleman, which becomes me, because I also find that people are far too reliant. It is my intention to cause you to be self reliant by
Mm-hmm.
doing this work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will you work with me for an extended period of time? Sure. Right? Depending on where you want to go and how you want to get and how fast you want to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the work also accelerates, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, it'll move you into the stratosphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of it is that you are well anchored, you are tethered, so you don't ever feel lost and turned out, right?
Yeah.
I've had many persons come to me that have done plant medicine that have been lost and turned out, that
Mm-hmm.
I've had to actually usher back to their bodies, tether
Mm-hmm.
them, and then aid them in putting the pieces back together because the mind had become fractured.
Mm-hmm.
Had become fractured. So yes, yes, and more yes.
Mm. Oh, that's good. That is so
That
good.
was.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned Lost and Turned Out, song by what? The Whispers.
Lost
But I get
and
it.
turned
Yeah. And I'm
out.
Yes.
thinking of those who do plant medicines, because they might think it's the end thing to do. You want to do the Aya, you want to do the mushrooms and things like that, but maybe not really have the context to be prepared for that. And what does that look like? Because people are reaching and they're seeking things, but they may not know what's the good first step for them so that they're not lost and turned out, so that they're not fractured and then like, oh God, like I just broke this box and, untethered. What
Mm-hmm.
would you recommend people do as they're searching? Because we still know all paths lead home, but you don't have to be lost and turned out like Olivia was in that song.
Well, for some, that is along their path and it's necessary
That's
for them.
true. Yeah.
So far be it for me to dictate what your first steps
Ashe.
must be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know that I am a specialized, like a surgeon, right? Like before you get to the surgeon, you got to see the MD, and then they do all the things, et cetera, and then come to find out it's actually this, right? So I'm the it's actually this. I just
Okay.
say that, right?
Okay.
Because again, it is not my intention to diminish anyone's way in which they find whatever it is that they are seeking. We are all slated because we got Moon Mama here. It's in the chart,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we are all slated. We all have a path, right? And at this particular point in time, there's going to be a mental break. However, as you continue forward at 29 degrees X, Y, and Z, you're going to find the thing that's going to help. So don't worry. It's like that.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
work two, and I have heard that it can mimic plant medicine. Some persons have gotten on my table. They're like, wow, it feels like I'm under Aya. Wow, it feels like I'm on, like, this is like a mushroom trip. I operate at varying frequencies, starting at like 62 point something else or another, up to 528. And I also utilize 144 hertz in the key of D. And that's light. That's information. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? And once you get into 144 hertz, it takes you smack dab into the center of the first eye, right? And my work, I carry you out into the quantum realm. Oftentimes, I call it being on the magic bus, right? So I carry you out into the quantum realm where all things exist. And so you will be able to see, you will be able to have a visceral response to what it is that you're seeing, and contingent upon, like, for example, when people pass away, contingent upon their belief system will then determine what that, when they cross over, what it is that they experience. It's the
Wow.
same thing when you're dealing at 144 hertz in mass, right? Because I also use a gong, and I use a Mars gong in particular. I'm coming for you.
Right.
I'm not playing
Right.
games, and I'm very efficient with
Yes.
this thing here, right?
You
Like
are a Virgo.
I
You do
quintessential.
Oh,
specifically with
Virgo.
Pluto on the first house and the,
Wow.
like she is a blast of energy. When you come into her space, your energy gets like it's like that. It really
Wow.
is. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, wow.
Nikki, where are you? Are you in LA or New York?
I am in LA. I
You're in
am.
LA. Okay.
I'm in the arts district in LA.
Okay.
So East LA.
East LA in the
East
house. Do
LA.
you work with clients virtually as well? Can folks on the East Coast get blasted by you? Can we get on a Zoom call? Like, how can we get this blast?
They absolutely can. So I see clients virtually and I see clients in person. I
I
also teach
say.
a course. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
process of teaching my students. I woke up with this hearing, you have to duplicate yourself. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So how do I do that since everything is channeled? So
Mm-hmm.
my poor students, they're not poor students, they're amazing students,
They're rich
but
too.
they've had to handwrite, which is amazing in that it actually gets to translate through their bodies. So as they're handwriting what it is that's being offered to them, I guess in an oral tradition, if you really were to look at it,
Mm-hmm.
imprinting them so that it can translate fully, so they're not operating from a place of theory, right? They are not intellectualizing this work, right? So you can find me at illuminiki.com. You can find me on Instagram at illuminiki. And yes, I see clients all over the world virtually, and I see clients in person.
I say. So are you speaking of the sound healer introspection level 1? Is that what you're speaking of, or is that something different?
Sound therapy, there's a
Sound
difference.
therapy. Okay.
Most sound healers have come from a place of musicianship.
Okay.
Sound therapy is using light and sound to clear debris from the energetic field. Okay.
Hmm.
And that alone, I mean, that's a foundational difference. So, yes, I am speaking to level one
Hi,
introspection.
Cookie.
Okay.
Sorry,
That,
a dog has come
that's
out.
the course. That's the
Okay.
course. hmm hmm But I
So
offer
Nikki,
spiritual consultations. I offer sound therapy, offer gong therapy, etc. If you go to the website, you'll be able to find all the things.
we'll
Mm.
post it in the notes of this
Awesome.
podcast.
Wonderful.
Question, you mentioned musicianship. Is that a part of your gift as well, or is your gift, I'm not like diminishing any parts of it.
Of
Like,
course.
are you a musician outside of gong and things like that? Okay, so spiritual energy, frequency.
That's
Okay, got it.
it. That's my function. So, uh Monique made mention of like being a Christian. I was born Buddhist.
Mm.
And children that are born Buddhist are known as bodhisattvas of the earth. So, very early on, I understood my function here on planet Earth. I understood that I had to make myself available to the people, right? Like, I have North Node in Aquarius. I have
Mars is an Aquarius.
Mars in Aquarius. And so I'm really here for the people, right? And
And you're a Virgo.
um, yeah, and I'm a Virgo. Right.
Hmm.
Yes. And so with the Pisces moon in the sixth house.
That's
So
right.
I'm
You are
here to
really
be
here
of
for the
service.
people.
Here
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
for the people.
I'm here for the people,
Hmm.
right? And I make myself available to the people in as much as they will receive me, right? I
Shay.
hammer information down people's throats, make them vomit. But it's
You
true.
gonna take this.
Listen, you gonna transform, okay?
You gonna learn today.
You
Today you will learn.
you will be where you're supposed to be, okay? And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I was like, oh no, like I don't want to kill you.
My bad.
I just grow a little flower. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I have to wait for them to come to me, to be quite
Okay.
honest, right? And once they come to me, and I know that if you're in front of me, you certainly want what it is that I have to give, and I give it all to you. That might be the blast.
Ashe. Ashe. I feel like what you just described was Dr. Lalea Africa's energy. Like he seemed so intense with his health and wellness. And it's like, okay, I
He
can't,
was the
no
perfect
Twinkies for
teacher.
me.
He's an Aquarius too. He's a perfect teacher
Hmm.
for me. He
Yes.
made me laugh, but I also got it right. I really
Yes.
understood that we weren't
Yes.
here to play. I
You
really
knew he
got it.
cared, but he didn't have no play. I didn't feel no play in that man.
Oh
His
no,
book
but
was
I
like,
play a lot.
listen,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
I
good,
play
good,
a
good,
lot.
good.
I'm actually really, really silly.
Okay. Love
But
it.
in
Love it.
between, like in between, hitting you with like,
Mhm.
and then I'll be like, "Ooh," you in order for you to
Awesome.
be better integrated, right?
Right.
Yeah, like
That's
that.
amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Mo,
Thank
you have anything you
you.
want to ask?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Um, so one of the things that I experience working with, I want to talk about this clearing piece, Nikki, because I feel like the clearing piece is the key to so much that's going on for most of us, that we are carrying things from from our early childhoods, from teenagers, maybe from even past life, carrying it, not even knowing that it's there.
Mm,
And when I came to you and I got on your table the first time, I remember, like, I don't think you touched me. You didn't actually put your physical hands on me at all. You know, you invited me into a deeper conversation with my subconscious and my body. You did some chimings, you know what you do, your pitchforks. And the next day I felt like I had been hit by a Mack truck. Literally.
yeah.
I literally felt like, what the fuck happened? And you hadn't put your hands on me. So I want you to talk about clearing and how, like, just can you go into the details of how people are carrying stuff that needs to be cleared and the value of clearing and why we got to do it?
Yes, thank you. What's very interesting about people and their level of awareness then dictates what the nature of their personal reality. So something could have taken place. We'll just talk about this timeline, and then we'll talk about previous timelines that are otherwise known as past lives. If there's nothing new under the sun, then everything exists simultaneously, right? So it is a matter of focus. Now, these experiences that were solely intended to bring awareness to you and perhaps to others, depending upon the contract, right? These experiences then create an emotion, and contingent upon what that emotion is, and in fact, all emotions, right? But we want to talk about the big emotions such as fear or doubt, right? And doubt is a sub emotion of fear. So anything that falls under like disappointment, doubt, insecurity, etc., they are sub emotions of the big emotion, which is fear, because there are really only two emotions in this plane of existence. That's love and that's fear. That's it, right? And joy and happiness, etc. They fall under the sub emotion, or they are sub emotions of the emotion of love. Now, these emotion experiences that get stuck in your energetic field, and because they are light, it's an emotion, right? So it implies that it's the intent is to move. It also implies that it's energy. So we then crystallize that energy, relegate it to a space within our bodies, and those emotions are giving off a pulse. Those pulses are attracting varying experiences that mimic when it happened initially. Okay. And the intent is to become aware of what the emotion actually is. The intent is not for you to continually attract people, places, things, as well as situations that are hurting you, right? In some cases, that looks like relationships with men or relationships with women, with places, etc., right? And the conversation then becomes, I just can't find a good man. I just can't find a good woman. Can't, I just don't gel with the place, etc. But the experience with the state situation is being attracted by that initial pulse with the intent to clear, like literally. So because we are not communicating on that level and people are unaware of why these experiences continue to happen, we then go in with the varying tools at varying frequencies and literally clear it and cause it to integrate. In most cases, people don't even realize what the first experience was until they're on the table, until 174 hertz hits it, and then it just brings it right up. It brings the memory up, or it brings the feeling up, which is also memory. Okay. Now, by clearing this stuck energy, we then aid you in integrating. And as you integrate, you create more space. And simultaneously, simultaneously, while creating more space, it also raises your frequency. So you may have been operating at 102.7, and then it raises the frequency to 107.5, right? And so everything that this pulse at 102.7, only things are available to you that are resonating at that frequency. And that is why it's also important to clear it and raise the frequency so you have access to more, right? That you
Wow.
have access to more of a range in frequencies as opposed to this particular pulse, which is informing everything, how you see, how you relate, how you interface with temporal reality.
Hmm.
See? That makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
Yes.
Good. 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 Good.
Thank you so much for that, because in the last few months I've been working with Nikki. I just want to share this because it's so powerful. I had a money cap in my consciousness, and it's like I could only make so much money, and as an entrepreneur that can be deeply frustrating. It's one thing when you're working for somebody and they're paying you $80,000 a year, you know that's how much money you're making or whatever, but as an entrepreneur it's like, what is this cap? Why can't I seem to get past? So I go to Nikki and I say, there's a cap, like I can't access. And even when more comes, I can't hold it. I have to just continue to put it out, put it out, put it out. Nikki, I did 3 sessions with Nikki, and when I tell you, I went from like a $2,800 cap to now making $10,000 a month. Right? So this is, and the thing is that the work that I do helped me see that there was a cap. Like the 13 moons work in the astrology helped me see, oh, there's a cap going on right now. And when is the time for me to move this? When will I have the strength, the actual readiness to be able to? Astrology helped me go, it'll be during this time.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
that's when I'm like, okay, now I need to double down. And I did 3 back-to-back sessions with Nikki, and literally it has opened up my consciousness. Like I cleared not feeling valuable. I cleared, that I feel like as Black people, oftentimes we can have a cap because we worked for free for hundreds of
Mm,
years and didn't receive
mm,
money
mm,
doing the work that we did. So we have these, sometimes we can have ancestral blocks
mm,
and we're not able to actually receive what is due
mm.
because we don't have practice. We don't have the muscle for that, right? So I just wanted to share that because that has been so monumental in my experience
Mm,
as an
mm,
entrepreneur, as a woman, as a creator, to understand that there was a block in place, there was a belief, there was an emotional, the energy was trapped in my not feeling valuable and worthy.
yes. Yes.
And when I took it to Nikki, when I took myself to her, like
Take
literally,
it to Nikki. Take it to Nikki. Just take it.
when I took it to her, that was it. She was like, well, it's on its last leg
So,
now. Like, say
okay.
goodbye to that.
Say bye bye to it.
Ashe.
Right.
Bye
Well,
bye.
and see the whole thing is to strengthen the container to be able to hold the charge. And you cannot do that if the container is inundated with stuck emotion
Yes.
that's constantly giving off pulses and attracting experiences that are not aligned with your original energetic signature. You
Ashe.
came here with a particular pulse, and then you had all of these experiences that no one had the capacity to really explain to you what this actually is. No, it appears to be this particular thing, but it's really this,
Yes.
right? And so a great deal of the work is putting it together so that you can see it. And
Mhm.
Yes.
once you can see it, then we can let it go, right? I
Yes.
also use a system called self-directed compassion, where we're taking a look at various versions of you, or even a feeling. You could have a pain in the knee, and I am going to direct you to the knee. Take a look. Right? Stop hiding from it. Take a look. See what's actually. Sometimes there's people in there. Sometimes, I mean, literally,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like sometimes it's
Yes.
people, it's places, it's situations, it's certainly emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Then we integrate it and we offer compassion. I'm so sorry you're in pain. Okay. I'm so sorry you have trust issues. I'm so sorry that experience translated to you being challenged with attachments and not knowing how to let go. That alone is a solvent,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Call
Yes.
it the degreaser, the mighty degreaser. But
Mm-hmm.
what it
Mm-hmm.
does is it clears the cracks in your lens, allowing for you to see reality as it actually is versus like a funhouse mirror or something that's in reverse or upside down and turned around,
Yeah.
right? So you can't fully make it out, to be quite honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Asha.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
powerful.
no
Nikki, I
reason why the people of the sun cannot hold the charge of light. And with
Ashe.
that, be able to direct their thoughts into creating a reality that they have a desire to exist within.
Mm-hmm.
Ashe.
That is part of the reason why we're here, to think new thoughts, right? And so a great deal of the mission is to clear out the bullshit, to be quite honest with you, so we can get to creating, right? Like, I can't have you creating, I, meaning the great I am, I cannot have you creating false narratives. We've already been subject to those false narratives,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we have been making manifest other people's narratives
Yes.
as opposed to our own, and the world that we have a desire for everyone to exist within, right? Like, that's very important to me,
Yeah.
very important to me. That's why I had to teach other people. I guess I can't do it all myself.
Yes.
Ashe.
I
The
guess.
duplication.
I guess.
Nikki, you mentioned about how emotion and energy lives in the body. And we're talking about the language of the body. I just wanted to share, I had a plant medicine journey this month, earlier this month,
Mm,
where I experienced one of my past lives.
mm,
And it was like the early 1900s. And my son at that time had died through some racial
mm,
trauma, and I experienced my heart being broken.
mm.
And me as Adina right now cried like that mother cried back then.
Yeah,
And I was actually to the side observing myself
yeah,
of how visceral that feeling was in my body.
yes,
It was, and I knew it was real. Like no one can tell me that didn't happen to me. Like I experienced
yes,
that, and that helped to inform why I still have fear in my body that didn't have a story attached to it.
correct.
Like it was just fear, a scared feeling, or
Yeah,
as a mother of three sons now,
yeah,
having fear for them. But I'd be like, I can't put them out with fear. So I just
right.
press it down because I'm not putting
Yeah,
that on them. But I
right.
don't know what that's
Yeah,
attached to. I experienced that story.
yeah.
And I released part of it in my tears then, and I was thankful for that energy and thankful for that image. And what was revealed to me was that baby of mine at that time is one of my guardian angels now. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah,
get it. I see you. I hear you. I thank you. I'm
yes,
grateful. But
yes.
I still, and so in my meditation now, I'm still very open and I'm still very thankful. But I want to ensure that I'm healing that place so that I'm not carrying still remnants of that fear, because it was such an awesome feeling
Mm-hmm,
when it finally came up
mm-hmm,
and out. Like, wow,
mm-hmm.
just wow.
So let me ask you this. Do you have physical pains in this timeline in the womb space? Are there any fibroids in the womb space? What's happening in the womb space?
The whoop.
How do you approach love?
Okay. Okay, the womb is pretty good, although, and I will say this, and I shared this with Monique. I have a yoni egg that's been in there for about 7 days. Like since this incident happened, this amethyst yoni egg has not come out because my womb space has been pretty happy in general, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, this is so interesting. I never had a yoni egg just kind of just take up
Lodge up,
residence and
just
just like,
lodge up and
yeah,
be
see,
like, I
like
ain't leaving.
I'm doing stuff. I'm
I'm
Yeah.
doing stuff.
squatting.
I'ma just chill. I didn't squatted. I didn't dug. I
Yeah.
didn't done all the stuff I know
Yeah.
how to do. And it's like, okay, well, you come
Yeah.
out when you're ready.
Yeah.
So, but my womb is good. My left big toe has been very sore, and I don't know why, but I experience. I'm a dancer, so I'm always, on my feet and stuff like that. But and pain in my shoulders, pain in my back. But I attribute that to just where we carry tension.
Yes
So that's what I have
and
to say.
no. Yes
Okay.
and no. Like the shoulders have to do with shouldering burdens, right?
Mm-hmm.
The feet have to do, and the left foot in particular has to do with where you're going and how you feel about where you're going and how you're going to get there, right? So
Okay.
I'm not exactly certain what's happening in your reality. You would need to come in so we can have a conversation, or you can talk about
Oh,
it
I'm
on the
coming
side.
in. I'm
Okay,
coming in.
okay, 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 right? And so the body then is speaking the language of the emotion in an attempt to get your attention so that the emotion can actually be addressed. I don't know which part of the back, if it's the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. You spoke about the shoulders, right? And then is it the left shoulder or the right shoulder? There's
Both
a
shoulders and lower back across, like right across the base of the back,
right.
right above the
So
hips.
that's money too, right? That has
Mm-hmm.
to do with
Mm-hmm.
it has to do with the charge from uh, mother and father. I don't know what's happening with the relationship with mother and
Is
father.
she reading me right now, Mo?
She is reading you. And let me just let you know, as you read her, Adina is a Cancer. She be having that crab shell
Yeah,
on. Like,
I'm so sorry. You're like a soft shell crab for me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not my intention. I'm just you asked me something,
I
right?
did. I did.
You
I
asked,
asked for it.
right?
Give it to
Because you
me.
asked, it's my responsibility to give it to you, right?
Ashe.
So, you know, like that,
yeah.
those type of things when it's
Mm-hmm.
really said and done, right? So then we
Ashe.
would look at those things. We would begin to discuss those things. We would
Okay.
begin, and then although you're like, oh, the womb is generally happy, but if it's holding that amethyst, which is a master healing stone, there's something that's taking
It's
place
something.
in the
You're
womb.
right.
Sometimes it's like the fear of becoming a mother, although you have three sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
The nature of the relationship with the father. And again, love. It's about love, or what we perceive as the lack thereof, right?
Ashe. Ashe.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Well, I'm making my appointment. Y'all, her information will be here.
Right.
Holla at Nikki. She got clients from all over the world.
That's right.
The body doesn't
It does.
lie.
The,
The body just can't
Can't.
lie.
Can't. Now, whether we
Cannot.
understand the language, whether we think the body is punishing us, whether we perceive what's being said, sometimes the language of the body can feel like a foreign language, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you're like, what is going on here? And then we go to doctors, and I'm not suggesting that anyone not go see a doctor. But what I am saying is if they cannot talk to you about the varying bodies and what the emotion is actually saying to you, how much information can they, how can they actually diagnose? You know what I
They're
mean?
drug dealers. They
What
become drug dealers,
well, they're the biggest drug dealers ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it is their intention to get you hooked on drugs because then you're a return customer, right? Right.
absolutely.
So if we can actually deal with the emotion that we could save somebody's knee, then you don't need a knee replacement. No, let's just deal with what's happening here and
Right.
why the knee has become your pocket. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Yes.
deal with some very serious heartbreak, sadness, and grieving before they cut your breast off.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
call it breast cancer. I'm serious when I say that.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
The
absolutely.
the body is a sense tool. It gives us the ability to interface with temporal reality, third dimensional reality. And we, because of the amount of stressors that are a part of this reality, because everyone is thinking the thoughts of someone else, making manifest chaos. Okay, we store it here in the breast, we store it in the womb, we store it in the hip, we store it in the knee. Our big toe starts to hurt, the shoulders are hurting. You follow me? All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it.
Ashe.
Ashe,
Well,
Nikki.
thank you so much. We are almost at an hour.
Mo,
Um,
can you see the comments? Can we read them really quickly before we go?
it says, "Can y'all save this live?" One person said, "Can you save this live?" Another person said, "Monique's chuckle just confirmed it all." When we were talking about when Adina said, "Nikki telling on me," she's speaking to me. Um, Teacher Mambo said 1.27 and 1.7.5 are popular radio stations in Chicago. Is this
Yes,
the
Yes.
right? Is this, yes, this is how the
It's the
radio
right
stations work.
station.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right.
Frequency.
The
yes,
frequencies.
yes,
Um, so
yes.
yeah, those are the comments. We don't have any questions or anything like
Okay.
that. That
Well, I want to say we always save the lives, so you can go back through our lines, our pages, and see all of the lives. You can hit Amazon Podcasts, you can hit Apple Podcasts, Google, all those big podcast stations or syndications, and hear it. Hear the whole season. So this is available to you to go back to. We'll have Nikki's information in the comments. So yes, you can get the whole conversation.
Ashe. Thank you
Ashe.
Thank
so
you
much,
both
Nikki.
so much for having me.
Yes.
Thank you
We're so
for
happy you
giving me
came.
the opportunity to share. I
This is
appreciate
amazing.
it.
Yes, she's magical, y'all. And you
Yes.
said on one of your posts, you seasoned. She like, I'm not new to this, y'all. I've been out here for like I've been here for years, like
Before
LL
the
said.
internet, long before the internet. Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
So thank you all so much. Adina, Nikki, I love you so very much.
Love
Both of
Love you
you.
y'all, like both
very
of
I
much.
y'all are
love you
my
too.
sisters.
Love you,
We
Nina.
are so lucky that we get to be the ones who are helping women heal and wake up at this very prominent experience on the planet. We are
Mhm.
the ones that get to do it, and it's so much fun to watch people give birth to themselves. Isn't it amazing?
Yes.
It's the best thing ever.
Yes,
The
it is.
best thing ever.
Yes.
Yes, it
Hmm.
is.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is. Beyond a
Hmm.
shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
I guess that's it for me.
All
Yeah,
right.
Well,
I don't.
Nikki, tell them again how they can reach you, and then
Okay.
we'll remind them how they can reach us.
Okay. So you can find me at Illuminiki, ILLUM as in Mike, IN as in November, IKI.com. You can also find me here on Instagram at Illuminiki, same spelling. And if you check the link in the bio, all the pertinent information there for courses, for single sessions, for packages, for programs, all of that is available right there. There may even be a telephone number where you can call, and generally I'm going to pick up.
Ashe. Thank you,
Thank you.
Goddess. We
Welcome.
love you and we appreciate you. Thank you for coming to this epoch of time.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
it's my
Thank you
pleasure.
for riding in on that light
Come
wave.
Yes.
on. It's my pleasure.
Yes.
I knew you were coming, and I knew you
Mhm.
were coming. All right.
Yes.
So, I mean, I had to come.
Yes.
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 So before we hop off, those are welcome to join us in Goddess Gathering. Monique and I have a rites of passage program for women where we are initiating ourselves through this process, utilizing many metaphysical tools that will help us get to where we need to be, which is the next stage. We've already entered. The door is already open. The curtain's already up.
Yes.
So if you're interested in doing this work and walking this path with us,
Mm-hmm.
we welcome you. We're taking a transformational group of women to Bali in July. Yes,
Yes.
and we
I
actually have
want to
two more rooms
come.
available. Please
Yes.
stop, Nikki. We have two rooms available, July 13th through the 20th. So
I
7 days. Nikki, we'd love to have you come. Oh my God. So we'll talk about that coming after. We might just have one room left because Nikki will come. Okay. But we're taking, so join us on Goddess Technology Retreat Bali. The links are in our bio. Join us in Goddess Gathering. This is the first of many international retreats. It's about us doing this work, ladies. It's about us lighting ourselves up, illuminating ourselves. We're ready.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
We're
Ashe.
ready. Ashe.
Thank y'all.
Happy
Love y'all.
Wednesday.
Have
Love
a
Love
you.
you
beautiful
all.
day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.